So we are in Switzerland, so we start exactly at 2 p.m. So so we are here for a reason. And thank you everybody to be here. It's nice to me to talk about the Lightning Network in this event, because I have seen a lot of people today, and this is an honor for me to be in such big community. So today I would like to talk about the reasons why we need the Lightning Network and how to start using the Lightning Network for overcoming the bank environment, the banking system, traditional banking system. So normally we talk about the Lightning Network for technical reasons. We want to understand how to start, how to move on, but we have also to understand the reasons why. And in this speech, I will start from understanding the reasons why, and I will arrive to how to be self-custodial using something quite easy, and start using the Lightning Network as it's philosophical correct for Bitcoin. So unlocking Lightning, so anyone can join the Bitcoin highway. So here is the first thing important to notice, that anyone can join the Lightning Network, so no one is excluded. So Bitcoin is for everyone, and this is the starting point we have to point out to understand the difference with traditional economical system, traditional financial system, which is oriented to censorship and against freedom. So this is bad to hear, but it's the reality nowadays. So, little introduction to me. I am a physicist since 1997, and I develop applications on top of Lightning Network. I wrote about Bitcoin Voucher Bot, SatsMobi, and I am a contributor to some other open source projects. But I also am a content creator and educator in the area of Lightning, Nostr, and free speech, mainly in Italian. So I have a YouTube channel in Italian, but I also have a website where I publish in English some how-tos and technical documentation that can be useful to anyone to go deeper in this field. At the end of the speech, I will show you some details to connect to me. So I am not just from the technical point of view, because I am active for increasing adoption of Bitcoin as a mean of payment. So we have to understand how to use the Lightning Network to drive the most of transactions that we normally do in traditional economy using financial intermediaries to the Lightning Network. This is the way we can have to start regaining our freedom, personal freedom, that it is going to be kept from centralized organizations. So Bitcoin Lightning Network is a method for overcoming banking and traditional systems. So I am focused on this, so I use the most of my time for these reasons. So a quick summary for today. What is the banking problem? Why we are here to discuss about the banking system and how to overcome the banking system, how to regain our Bitcoin, the two use cases of Bitcoin. the two most important use cases for Bitcoin, for HODL, and for sending and receiving payments in traditional day-to-day payments. From custody to self-custody on the Lightning Network, so we will see how to start. Maybe we can start in a custodial way for the Lightning Network, and then step by step migrating to something which is self-custodial. And then we'll talk about a simple setup. You can, everybody can start trying to run a Lightning node in a self-custodial way, but something easy, okay? Which is something I set up some weeks ago. And then some peer-to-peer method to get Bitcoin using the Lightning Network. We can also use the Lightning Network for get Bitcoin from peer-to-peer sources. And this is something we are all encouraged to do, because this is also in line with Bitcoin philosophy. And so the final achievement, so from Bitcoin to the Lightning Network. This seems very difficult to achieve, but we can do together. Every one of us can do his part to achieve such a result. So we start from a simple assumption. So in the traditional system, traditional financial system, banks can exclude people, so can forbid people to enter the system. This happens even here in Switzerland, the country of banks, but even here, a lot of people may be excluded from the financial system, and this is a problem, because being excluded from the financial system is an exclusion from freedom of getting payments for work, for every activity we do every day. Bitcoin is opt-in, we know. Everybody who's here know that Bitcoin is opt-in, but this means that everyone can enter the network and no one is excluded from the network. This is very important. And the way that we can join the network is just creating our first wallet, for example, on the base layer of Bitcoin. So no one can exclude other people. So the basis is strongly different. So Bitcoin allows the removal of the middleman, and this is the central point of failure where confiscation, censorship, and seizure may take place. So we have to eliminate such intermediary and become again our self-custodial owner. So the first things to go in more in particular, the first thing is that we normally have an hidden tax. An hidden tax, it is not just the inflation. We know that that we lose money in inflation. Money is also stolen by taxes, taxes on taxes, taxes on taxes on taxes, and inflation, and taxes on purchases. So, okay. So the most of money we gain when we work is stolen by different kind of centralized activities. But in this case, I'm focusing on the hidden tax on the money when we use the traditional banking system. For example, if you are a shop, you want to take a payment, you get you lose about 3% of money because you are taking this payment. So this 3% 4%, etc., is withdrawn to the banking system. We have, for example, fees. If we want to send a payment, a bank transfer, a wire transfer, we may pay from some cent to dollars, to $5, and so on. We have a processing system, bank processing. For example, maybe you have to pay in euros, but you have francs, or you have francs, you want to pay dollars, and so on. They take a commission for this. And finally, we have to wait. We have to wait, and during this wait, money is in some kind of limbo. And we can wait 1 day, 2 days, 3 days for this. So every time we make a transaction, every time we use a financial intermediary, an amount is withdrawn to the banking system. So these are money that leave the productive economy to go to the banking system, to go to probably finance something that we don't want to. So this is very bad, because money is taken out of the productive system and maybe is used to finance something that we don't want to finance. So where money really goes, let's take an example. For example, let's say that I am a shop, I want to be paid for an item I am selling, or I want to be paid for a service. Okay, I want to take $100 for my service. So $3 are taken from credit card fees. We have processing fees. We have currency conversion. Suppose I am American, I am in Switzerland. There is a profit for the bank because of the change. The merchant receives about 93.5%. So we have also a delay in settlement. We are subject to chargebacks. So I am selling, I am giving the item, but I may lose the money as well if a chargeback applies, and we cannot control such event. The banks collect 6.5% on this total amount. So this amount is with no added value. So this money is simply taken from the total amount. So there is a removal of value from the traditional economy. This is a moral and ethical problem in addition than a financial problem. So this happens on each transactions we take, if you are a shop, and every time we make a payment in a shop. So every time we make a transaction, the financial system is taking hidden taxes, and this is money that leaves the productive economy. So it's money stolen from our work and our energy, our time. So it's a theft of time and energy. So Bitcoin, to understand Bitcoin as an alternative, we have to understand the two possibilities that we have, the two pathways we can follow to use Bitcoin. One is the traditional way, so the hodl. So we can save money. We can save money because we want to escape the inflation. We don't want to risk our money to be seized. We don't want to risk our account to be frozen. And so we decided to use Bitcoin as a saving account. This is the traditional way. This is hodl, like we normally call it. So we benefit from the on-chain security. We have a strategy, so we have our hardware wallet to do this probably, and in this way we preserve us from we preserve our purchasing power, and we preserve our money to be frozen by third parties. And nowadays, this event is not so remote. I think that here everyone may tell his experience in banking events. And the second way is removing the banking system from traditional transactions. So we want also to remove intermediaries when we transact. So transacting is the second pathway, very important for the real economy, because the most of profits in the banking system is due to transactions. So anytime we are able to transact away from the financial system, we are able to remove funds, remove profits to the banking system. This is very important because it's weakening the banking system. And normally this is faster. This is global. We have a global accessibility, so anyone in the world can transact peer-to-peer, where the value really moves from one point to another. Is not just updating a database, but is transferring real money from one part to another. So this is, in this case, we have so the Lightning Network revolution. We know we do this recap very short. We can instantly settle the payment, so we can immediately send and receive transaction. Nowadays, the nodes are very performant, so we can move even a large amount of sats without problems, because nodes are now very efficient. We have microscopic fees, and most of all, it is peer-to-peer. So we normally can exchange value between parties directly. This is what we actually need, in fact. So entering the Lightning Network is quite more complicated than using the on-chain traditional solution, because there are more skill needed. So being immediately non-custodial may be quite trick, actually. So it's okay, in my opinion, to start using something custodial, because okay, the important is start using the Lightning Network, and then we can get more and more skills to go to the to a non-custodial solution. Non-custodial solution is what we need to is our target, because in this way we have true ownership of our funds, and we can immediately decide which nodes open channel 2, the liquidity, etc., and we can decide every aspect of our holding and our activity on the Lightning Network. But this requires more skills for setuping, so it's normal to arrive to this step in a second phase. So we can imagine the Lightning Network as a message. It's like messaging between parties. We can imagine this. We are messaging between parties while the message is transferring value to the counterparty. So it's not like what happens on traditional system. So it's just like arranging numbers in a database. With the Lightning Network, it's like sending messages. So being free to talk information to someone else, while this message is value, is carrying value. So what we can do this in something easy. We studied about there are a lot of projects which are trying to make the access to true ownership on the Lightning Network more more and more easy. And for example, there is Phoenix D, which is a good implementation, very easy to set up, which requires a lot of which requires less skills than other situation. There is LND implementation, and this setup I am talking now is named Nimble node. It is just a setup based on neutrino lightning terminal LND. Okay, and this is something that we tried to configure in order to give the possibility to anyone just with a simple VPS, for example, to run his own node. So it is something even more self-custodial than using just, for example, Phoenix D, because here we can control all the liquidity, the channels, and so on. We have, in fact, a LND implementation with many tools already ready for being used in your setup. So by a technical point of view, it's just a Docker setup with everything already pre-configured. So you have just to clone the repository, follow some technical requirement, and then start the installation. This runs on a very small VPS, so it's quite easy and cheap to set up. It is even cheaper compared to additional solutions like Voltage or something like this, because in this case you run on the VPS you prefer, so you can go on the cloud you want. While, for example, Voltage is running on AWS or Google Cloud, etc. So we have, in this case, the freedom to run on the infrastructure we prefer. So the process of installing such a node is very simple, and you can decide where to run it to be the more and more self-custodial. So what we unlock in this way, we unlock a personal Lightning node that you can use for day-to-day spending. For example, you can connect to, I don't know, Zeus, for example. You can connect to what you prefer. Or you can easily integrate with LNBits. So LNBits is, when the system is running, connecting LNBits is trivial, so it's very simple. And in this way, we can also use all the features of LNBits, for example, the Lightning Wallet management, the plugin system, etc., on our own node. So we can create, for example, our Lightning address or voucher systems and so on. And this self-custodial. We can easily also connect to BTC Pay server. So in case we want to run even a shop, for example, you can connect to the BTC Pay server like with the LND Hub interface. And so you are completely non-custodial with no permission, your node, your rules, and your keys. So what we need, what is the shopping list for setting this up? We can, for example, get a VPS, a simple VPS. Just a very small VPS is enough because neutrino is used, so the requirement, technical requirement in terms of resources is very small. You may want to use your own domain name to make your UI, the UI for your node, accessible from the web. Otherwise, you can run even the system under Tor. It is even very, very simple. It's just a few minutes more work. And so you have a small time investment, 2 or 3 hours time to set up and make some tests, and you have your system up and running. And this is a way to be part of the Lightning Network. The second important use case is that we cannot transact from the Lightning Network without sats. This is normal. Purchasing sats is nowadays more and more complicated due to regulations, due to a lot of problems, and starting next year it will be even worse. But it's normal. Every year is worse than the previous, so we are usual to this. So getting Bitcoin, the real way to get Bitcoin is, in my opinion, for using the Lightning Network and using peer-to-peer system. There are a lot of peer-to-peer systems that can be used. For example, RoboSats, for example, Odel, BISC, etc. In this case, we also worked on a platform like this, and what are the advantages of using a peer-to-peer system to get Bitcoin for the Lightning Network is that we have transactions which are more private because just the counterparties knows about the transaction. We do not have KYC requirements. And we can be in the real philosophy of Bitcoin. And so we have true financial privacy. This is very different from a traditional centralized exchange in which we have extensive KYC requirements, which are also increasing. No documents, no banking additional documents required. We don't have transactions monitoring and government reporting. In fact, since next year, there will be even transaction reporting. So every transaction we do will be even reported. So going back to peer-to-peer is the way to, yes, it's a step back in a certain sense because we go back some years ago, but it is the only way we can have to still stay in the philosophy of Bitcoin, which is for everyone and not censoring anyone. So this is, I told about BISC, I told about RoboSats, etc. This is another platform we started some times ago, some weeks ago. And this is based on triple interfaces. One is Telegram integration, another is a web platform, so from the web in ClearNet, and the third is on Tor. So without any app, so we decided to avoid any app because we think that from now to the next some month, even installing applications from any Play Store will be censored. So censoring will be the next activity for anyone. And so we have a multiple way to access the system. This is important even because there is Tor access. So why peer-to-peer trading matters? We preserve privacy. We align with Bitcoin philosophy. We support network decentralization. This is also primordial as a result because the more the network is decentralized and the more we have possibility to keep our privacy and security. And so we avoid central points of failure. So we avoid that there is an intermediary which can censor my transaction or simply taking information on my transactions. And the rest is done by the fact that we are running the Lightning Network and not using on-chain transaction. This is also useful for preserving the privacy. So step by step, what we can do. So get Bitcoin as a Lightning Sats in a peer-to-peer way. Set up and deploy your node. So you can test even several implementation. There is an important amount of possible way you can run your own node, but the important is to arrive to run a node. This is also useful for the network. And then start opening channels. So once you have your node, you have tested your node, you made the needed configuration, you can start opening and managing your channels. So you must have the freedom to decide the node where you want to connect to, and this is possible when you run your own implementation. And then start using the system. So start using the system for accepting payment in a shop by using BTC Pay Server or by using LNBits or additional scripts you can create. For example, a good application is even connecting NFC cards. This can be done even with your node. You can use LNBits with both card extension to connect your own cards or your own rings, bolt cards, and tag 424. And this is very nice because you can, for example, configure your NFC system and make possible even your family or friends to use this system to pay, and in a nice way, like using NFC touch. This is possible. For example, here in the food trucks, you can pay the Lightning Network, not just using invoices scan, but even using the NFC tool. And this can be possible even by simply running LNBits on your installation. So we can, in case you are a shop, you have 100% payment retention. You don't risk chargebacks. This is a nightmare normally for everyone who trades online. If you trade online, you can always have the risk of money charged back on the financial system, while you don't have such problem using Bitcoin, the Lightning Network. You are 24/7 ready to get payments, and you can analyze transaction, analyze your data, because everything is on your system, is owned by you, and you don't need any permission. So it's not like when you want to activate a new POS run by Visa. You have to provide information on what is your business, where your money comes from, etc. In this case, is everything permissionless, so you don't have to ask permission to anyone. This is for 3 reasons. The 3 reasons we have to have in mind is that we can use for individuals to be self-sovereign. So using this setup, for example, for our payments in day-to-day payments. This is also for business which wants to allow the payment on the Lightning Network. And this is also for the real economy. So we have also to think to the real economy, because any time we transact using Lightning Network, and so overcoming the traditional payment system, we retain a value inside the the productive system. This is important for anyone. So anyone who wants to implement his own node and start using node for getting payments or making payments, this is also something which is a benefit for the whole network, for the whole network of real economy. So the steps are getting your funds, going on the GitHub repository. There is also the possibility everyone is welcomed who wants to add additional features, make some changes. So everyone is welcome to contribute to this project. This is an open source pro bono project. No one is taking any advantage, just the community. And then run this and start securing your infrastructure. So choose your VPS provider, register a domain name in case, and prepare your digital workspace. This is also very, in my opinion, educative, because you can get real experience from setting this project up. And then when the system is deployed, you can make some test, experiment, and so on, starting opening channels, starting making receiving payments with your friends, and so on. So this is a step for the financial independence. Okay, that's it. I leave here my details. In the meantime, there is some kind of question, I am here for some minutes. So, as I said, I am on YouTube for educative materials, but I suggest also this website, which is my lab, where I publish in English some technical content, so it's useful for anyone who wants to test this situation, these setups. There are a lot of how-tos and technical documentation. I am obviously even on Noster, if someone is here, and then the other additional social media. If there is some questions, I am here. Otherwise, I finish. Grazie. Thank you very much.
Hi. Could you explain to me the channels problematics, like I'm 5 years old?
Okay, now I understand. Yes, not easy. This is not easy questions, but channels, maybe you may think channels as a financial relationship between two nodes. So you imagine that you have two nodes and they want to start a financial relationship in where they will trade, they will exchange money from now to the next month, and they will set up their relative balance when they start transacting. So it's like if you go to a bar, for example, you have an account at a bar or pub, etc., and every time you take something, you make a note that you have to pay 10 euros, 20 euros, and so on. And this is a list of transactions which remains into the balance of the channel. And when the channel is closed, this is settled on chain. So when we start a channel between two nodes, we normally create this relationship, and then we start transact. So any transaction is changing the relative balance between the nodes. And this can be updated a lot of time during all the life of the channel. And the advantage is that we can have not just a channel between two parties, but we can have, and we really have, a network of channels. So a wide network of channels where nodes are connected to other nodes. And the most important advantage of the Lightning Network is that the transaction can be transferred from nodes which are not directly connected. So there is channels as a feature, and there is the routing of transactions through a path into the network of channels. So this is why we can, for example, start with our node a channel to another node, which is maybe a big node, and from this moment on, we can pay, send transactions which flows from our node to the big node, and from the big node to another node, etc., following a path which arrives to the destination. So let's imagine as this network of channels like an highway, where in fact the name, where the payment is going, and every time the payment is going through a node is leaving a little fee. So finally the payment will arrive to the destination, and a little fee is paid on each hop of this path. The hop is when we go from a node to another node. This is, I don't know if 5 years will be enough so to understand, but in addition, English is not my mother language, so it's quite difficult even to explain in English. Something else? Okay. Thank you very much.